Ever seen a giraffe panic? No, exactly. There's a reason for that. And it's not because life on the savannah is peaceful. Lions prowl, hyenas hover, and chaos is always an option. But giraffes, they stay cool. No running in circles, no dramatic exits. Just a long, quiet glance and a slow, calculated move like, "You sure you want to do this?" Hello wild vibers, Vibes of a Wildlife here. Welcome to another video where we dive into the heart, humor, and unexpected life lessons from the animal kingdom. Today, we're talking giraffes, the silent powerhouses of the wild. Tall, elegant, and steady even when danger's breathing down their necks. Literally. Giraffes are the quiet storm of the savannah, unshaken, unrushed, unapologetically calm. In this video, we're breaking down how they manage survival without the spectacle, what their stillness tells us about emotional intelligence, and how that kind of quiet confidence might be the superpower we all need. So if you've ever felt like staying calm means staying small, think again. Hit like, share this with someone who could use a little giraffe energy, and subscribe for more wild wisdom. Because sometimes power doesn't roar, sometimes it just stands tall. Now let's get into it. Let's rewind for a second, because giraffes, they've been turning heads for thousands of years. Back in ancient times, folks weren't sure what to make of them. I mean, imagine seeing one for the first time. Long neck like a periscope, legs like stilts, spots like a leopard. But with the chill energy of a camel on vacations, the Greeks actually mashed it all together and called it Camella pardalis, literally, camel plus leopard. A whole remix of animals rolled into one tall, silent mystery. And the Egyptians, they were obsessed. Pharaohs imported giraffes from sub-Saharan Africa, not to guard the palace, but to grace it. These weren't war animals. They weren't paraded around for their strength or noise. They were brought in for their vibe, their elegance, their quiet presence. In royal gardens, they stood as symbols of peace, grace, and balance. Kind of like a living statue with eyelashes. Now fast forward to today, and science has finally caught up to what ancient royalty already knew. Giraffes are more than just a pretty face on stilts. Researchers are finding that their silence isn't some passive, timid thing. It's calculated, it's deliberate. It's how they read their environment, conserve energy, and stay one step ahead without making a scene. They don't need to puff up or show out. They just observe. And in a world that loves noise, that's a power move. So the question is, what does a giraffe do when things go south? When the calm gets tested and the danger shows up for real? Let's get into that. So here's where it gets interesting. Giraffes have this panoramic 270-degree field of vision, like living watchtowers with eyelashes. From up there, they can spot a predator way before most animals even smell one. And what do they do with that early intel? Do they freak out? Nope. No stampede, no screaming across the plains. They just stop, freeze, and watch. That pause, that's not hesitation, that's calculation. Giraffes are out here running risk assessments like they've got spreadsheets in their heads. They don't waste energy on drama unless it's necessary. And that stillness is so real, for a long time scientists thought that giraffes were actually mute. Not shy, just soundless. Turns out, they're not mute at all. They hum, but only at night. Low, deep, almost meditative hums, like they're whispering secrets to the moon. Scientists believe they do it to stay in touch with the herd in the dark, when visibility drops and the usual eye-based communication doesn't cut it. It's subtle, it's strategic, it's almost like sleep talking with purpose. A kind of nighttime check-in. You good? Yeah, me too. And here's the wildest part. Other animals watch them. Seriously, you ever see a bunch of impalas or zebras chilling like it's all good? It's probably because the giraffe nearby hasn't moved. If that giraffe isn't panicking, nobody is. They're like the emotional thermostat of the savannah. The giraffe sets the tone, like a jazz player holding that one note just long enough to keep everyone grounded. The calm spreads. But not every threat can be handled with a pause and a hum, right? So what happens when danger comes in loud, teeth bared, and ready to pounce? When silence alone won't cut it? Let's talk about that. Now when silence doesn't work, when a predator crosses the line and won't take the hint, that's when the giraffe reminds everyone why it's not to be messed with. One solid kick, that's all it takes. A giraffe could deliver a blow so powerful, it could crush a lion's skull. No exaggeration. Those legs look elegant, sure, but they're launching pads for survival. It's like watching poetry throw a punch. But here's the thing, giraffes don't go looking for a fight. That kind of power is on reserve. It only comes out when absolutely necessary, usually to defend a calf or themselves when escape isn't an option. They don't swing first, they swing last. Still, there are moments when even the calmest creature brings the drama, like when two males square off over dominance. That's when you get necking. And no, not the flirty kind. We're talking full-on neck combat. They swing those 6-foot-long necks at each other like battering rams, whipping their heads around, landing body shots with enough force to knock someone down. It's slow, surreal, and strangely mesmerizing. It looks like slow-motion martial arts with spots. Or when a mother giraffe feels her baby's threatened, that soft-eyed grace turns into steel. She stands her ground, lowering her head, and dare anything to come closer. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it commands respect. Even in those moments of intensity, the giraffe's strength is never about chaos, it's about clarity. They don't react because they're rattled, they respond because it's earned. Their default setting is still that stoic presence. They rely on their height, their vision, and their calm composure to stay ahead of danger. And if it gets too close, they move. Deliberate, confident, like, I've got places to be and this drama ain't on my schedule. They don't run around screaming, lion, like a meerkat on espresso. They just reposition with dignity. So yeah, they've got fire in them when it's called for, but most of the time, they choose peace, powerfully. And that brings us to the real question. What can we learn from these tall, quiet, kick-slinging giants? Let's get into it. Alright, so let's bring it home. Because these giraffes, they're not just tall for no reason. They've got some real-life lessons tucked behind those lashes. First off, calm doesn't mean weak. Giraffes aren't out here stomping, yelling, or puffing up their chests to prove a point. And yet, nobody questions their presence. That's the flex. They remind us that power doesn't have to be loud. You can stand tall, say nothing, and still own the room. Sometimes strength is in the pause, in the not reacting. And here's the cool part. This isn't new wisdom. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt saw it too. They brought giraffes from far-off lands into their royal courts, not for intimidation, but for inspiration. Not because they were the strongest, but because they embodied balance, grace, peace, that quiet kind of power that speaks without shouting. The same qualities we're still admiring today. So yeah, even the pharaohs knew, when you're that composed, you don't need to flex. Second, perspective is power. When your view stretches across the savanna, you don't trip over every little shadow. Giraffes see the big picture, literally, and that gives them an edge. They don't waste energy on what isn't worth it. Same goes for us. When you zoom out, when you realize not everything needs a response, some things, they can just pass. Keep it moving, keep it tall. Third, move with intention. Whether it's walking away from danger or standing still to assess it, giraffes choose their response. That's not passivity, it's presence. It's emotional control. And honestly, that kind of poise is underrated. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between letting the moment own you or owning the moment. And here's the bonus thought. In a world full of noise, be the calm observer. Everybody's got alarms going off, notifications, hot takes, drama. But you don't have to be pulled into every fire drill. There's strength in stillness, real power in not reacting to every little thing that pokes at you. Now look, I'm not trying to turn this into a TED Talk with spots and hooves, but if the tallest creature on earth can handle chaos with that much grace, maybe it's worth paying attention to. Let's wrap this up. So here's the takeaway. Rise quietly, live boldly. Giraffes don't roar, they don't rush, but they still survive and thrive. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. Their strength is not about domination, it's subtle, grounded, and intentional. They don't move to impress, they move with purpose. And that's what makes them unforgettable. If you found power in their stillness, if something in you felt a little taller just listening, go ahead, give this video a like. Share it with someone who needs that reminder to breathe before they react. And hit that subscribe button for more heart, humor, and wildlife wisdom. With that said, thanks for watching. And until next time, stay tall, stay calm, and remember, you don't have to be loud to be legendary.